Well, we say goodbye to 2020 and hello to 2021. I thought I would wrap up this year with kind of a shave den tour and just talk about basically what shaving was for me in the strange year 2020. Before I really get into that tour though, I want to talk about, and I mentioned this in my very first video, that I got into wet shaving back in 2014, so about 6 years ago, and I got kind of burned out. I basically was using the same couple of products. Basically, I had to shave every day for my job, and I did that, and then that was it. I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. It was just kind of a habit that I did. And then of course with 2020, everything being as weird as it has been, I was online a whole lot more, and I just really got back into wet shaving, and I acquired a lot of stuff. I'm really going to try to cut back in 2021 and not really just, everything that I see, oh, I gotta have that, I gotta have that, because I've got enough stuff to cover me for a while. So the way I'm going to start this video is kind of show you the things that I had prior to 2020, and then I'll show you everything that I picked up during the year 2020. So that's how this video is going to go. Once I get through those first few items that I had, then I'll go more into brushes and soaps and razors and all that. So hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. So these 4 items were my kind of go-to prior to the year 2020. These were my daily shavers. This Parasso blue topped cream, that was my daily shaver cream that I used. Face lather, I kind of featured these in my first video. And then the Semogue boar brush, it's the 1800. I paid 20 bucks for it. It's the first brush that I ever bought. You can see how well it's broken in. I mean, this is a great brush. And I still love this brush. I use it all the time. It's been used hundreds and hundreds of times. This here is the Mercure 1904, and this is my first razor that I bought, about 25, 30 bucks, something like that. Still a great razor. I love using this razor. And then the Nivea balm. This was the balm that I used pretty much every single day. These were just my kind of daily shaves. I got into a routine. I was using them all the time. And I got burned out. Like I said, I was using just kind of the same stuff. Now, prior to 2020, I did pick up a few additional things. Soap-wise, you can see the Williams soap. Again, some people, it's a classic. Some people love it. I used a couple of pucks of this. There's also I don't have it here, but I did have a couple of Taylor Old Bond Street that I went through and I never purchased more of. And then even like a Colonel Conk, one of their pucks. I used that, as well as Ogallala, a couple of pucks from them, shaving soaps. But again, I used them once and then I never replaced them. I don't know why. Like I said, I got burned out using essentially these things here. Let's look at a brush. There's only one other brush to feature, and you've seen me use this in a couple of videos. It's my only Badger brush. It is a West Coast shaving Badger brush. It sheds a lot. That's kind of been one of my things, and I guess Badgers do shed. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. It's still a good brush, just not my favorite. But I did have this prior to 2020. There's one shedding right now. Aftershave, I had some, line it up there. Here's some British Sterling. This is what my dad always uses. You can see it's almost out. I've been using this quite a bit. This was prior to 2020. And I also used Old Spice, which is what my grandfather wore. But I don't have any right now. I'll pick some more up at any point. The second razor that I picked up is right here. It's a 1950s Gillette silver tip, or silver speed rather, flare tip. And I got this at an antique store in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, probably, I don't know, 2015, 2016, something like that. 20 bucks for that. It's a great little mild razor. I use it quite a bit. But again, I had this prior to 2020. I'll set it right there. This is an interesting razor. I don't use it very often. It's open comb. This was the third razor that I picked up. I got this at an antique shop in Hudson, Wisconsin, which is right on the state line between Wisconsin and Minnesota. And this one, well, I won't bother taking that part off, but it's one of these weird, like, kind of travel. See how it kind of comes apart there like that? Hopefully the focus is good, yeah. So it breaks down and you can travel with it very easily. So I don't really travel with it, but it was like 10 or 12 bucks. So I was like, I can afford that. I'll pick that up. It's very mild. I don't use it a whole bunch. And then finally here, this is the last thing basically that I had prior to the year 2020. And this is a West Coast shaving. This is like their midnight edition, very heavy, chubby handled razor. Also open combed and extremely aggressive razor. I don't use this a whole lot. I only use it with blades that I'm comfortable with because this is just a very, it'll get you. It's a very, very aggressive razor. So that is what I had going into 2020. I think for the rest of this den tour, I'm going to show, I'll do creams next, or creams and soaps. I'll do that next, then I'll move on to brushes and whatnot. So this was kind of, I'll put this out here as well. Here. I'll put everything out here and you can just take a look. Not shown here is a couple of things that I had. Like I said, Old Spice, as well as a couple of Taylor of Old Bond Streets, and maybe a couple other soaps. But this was kind of my daily thing. Let me move on. Picked up a lot of great soaps for 2020. Right now what you're looking at is my Texas soaps. And again, this is RAR by Noble Otter as well as Firefighter. This one very recently just picked this up in November. Two wonderful soaps here. Very floral here. And then also the Firefighter, fairly floral. It has a little bit of like a grapefruit kind of scent to it. Mr. Pepper from Central Texas Soaps. I was super excited to pick this up because I grew up in Texas and man, it smells just like Dr. Pepper. It's amazing. And then Hub City Soap Company, this is Pages. This was kind of the first like premium soap that I picked up back in August. And very leathery, very manly scent. Definitely wanted to pick that up. And especially because I'm from Lubbock. This is made in Lubbock, Texas. I'm from Lubbock. And the gentleman, David, who kind of runs the company there, started the company, I've connected with him on Facebook. Super nice guy. So these are my Texas soaps. Those have been great so far. Looking forward to continuing to use those. Let me move these quickly out of the way. And then I'll show you what else I kind of picked up over 2020. Sterling soap. I've got, so there's Carniferous. This, of course, smells very much like an evergreen. Now, this is just a Betty Crocker tub, basically. This has apple cider in it. I'll kind of hold it up there. You can see I've cut it up into little chunks, and then I drop those in a bowl. Bowl lathering is something that I've gotten into in 2020. I'll talk more about that. Now, I've also got a sample of pumpkin spice from Sterling Soap Company. Same tub. It's in a tub basically just like this. So I didn't want to bore you with two Betty Crocker tubs. But Sterling soap, it's legit. Everyone talks about how great Sterling soap is. Out of Arkansas. I used to live in Arkansas, so I was excited to get to try this soap and use this soap. And it does. It works amazing. And then we've also got a couple of different ones here, smaller containers here. Clubman, picked up that at just the local grocery store actually. I was like $3, $4 or something. Pretty small canister. It lathers pretty well. It's not bad. And then also the Phoenix. This came with a travel scuttle. I've picked up a few things from Phoenix Shaving, including the Glow Cube. Dang, I didn't grab that. It's downstairs. But for pre-shave, I use the Glow Cube. If you've used the cube, it is awesome. But also Cella, you can't go wrong with Cella. I've only used this a few times. I had never used it. I've always kind of used Parasso, and they're kind of in the same category there. But this is Phoenix CK6, and it worked great. For 2021, I'm definitely picking up a full size of something from Phoenix Shaving in the CK6. That's about it for soaps. Again, I didn't go too crazy this year with soaps, but this is more than enough, to last me quite some time. Let's move on next to aftershaves. So these are going to be my kind of cheaper drugstore aftershaves here. You've got the Clubman Original here in the middle. Of course, I picked that up at the local drugstore. This is great stuff. Very comparable to Old Spice. I don't have any Old Spice currently, but I've been using this in lieu of Old Spice essentially. And then I picked both of these up online. They were $10 each from recommendations I had seen from various people on YouTube and whatnot. I love the sweet rum. At first it kind of had a funky smell to it. I think that might be because of the plastic bottle. All three of these are in plastic bottles, and I hear people say if you put them in a glass bottle, they work a little bit better. The tequila teas, kind of, I don't know, I was hoping it would kind of grow on me more, but it really hasn't. I kind of get a weird, like, almost like dish soap smell from it. It's not bad. I've used it a handful of times, but of these two, I bought these at the same time online. I prefer the sweet rum. I've never had the Clubman Bay rum, but I know that is a huge, everybody loves that. This is Nivea Deep. It's just an aftershave splash. It was like $3 or $4. Extremely light scent. Not my favorite. Not bad though. It's pretty cheap, but I use it occasionally. But again, these are all kind of loan, if you will. They don't have a soap associated with them. I know there's the Clubman soap here, but it doesn't really smell like the aftershave. And then finally, I've got Dove Men-Care Balm. This stuff is great. Even though it's fairly cheap, you can get it at the grocery store, you can get it at the drugstore. It's kind of hard to find, but it is good stuff. I actually like it, I think, better than the Nivea aftershave balm. But these are kind of my kind of cheap drugstore or grocery store aftershaves. Instead of trying to lay these out and display them, most of them are in round bottles, and I feel like they're going to try to roll around a little bit. So I'm going to actually just kind of hold each individual one up and talk about it. So this is Pages Hub City Soap Company. You heard me talk about how much I enjoyed Hub City soap, the Pages soap that I have. So this matches the soap. Wonderful, wonderful aftershave splash. Great stuff there. This also is from Central Texas Soap. This matches my Mr. Pepper. Now this burns a lot. I don't know if it's my skin or what, but kind of a cherry scent, but it really has a burn to it. It goes away within a few minutes, but good aftershave, but wow, you really feel that burn. I'll move back here again. This is the Firefighter, and this matches obviously my Firefighter soap. I did get my dad some of this for Christmas. He is a retired firefighter. He's used it a couple of times. He says he loves it. He does use an electric razor though. And then this is RAR. This matches my RAR soap. Again, this is from Noble Otter. Wonderful scent on this, very summertime or spring-like. I'm using it, we're in the dead of winter here in Wisconsin, so I'm actually using it to kind of get that springtime feel. And then to go along with my full-size soap from Sterling Soap Company, I've got Carniferous. This is their aftershave splash. Great stuff here. You can really tell a difference between like kind of drugstore aftershave and then these premium. This is 2020 is the first time that I've used a premium aftershave, and going forth I intend to continue to use these more premium aftershaves because you really do. There's a difference. You can tell the difference. It's just a little bit better stuff, better for your skin. So that's that, pretty quick. So clearly I picked up a whole bunch of brushes during 2021. I'll kind of go through them each. I'm trying to think which ones I picked up. Honestly, I think I picked up this Yaki 30 millimeter first, and it is a synthetic. I was kind of leery of synthetic. I didn't know if I was like, I don't know, but synthetics are great. If you've never used a synthetic, it's of course a 30 millimeter knot. It is huge. I've said before that it's almost too big. It's not, it's not bad, but it is a large knot. I think the next one that I picked up here was this Semogue horsehair. Horsehair is interesting. It's not quite as stiff as a boar, but it's a little bit more stiff than like a badger. Cool little brush here. I like it. It's small. It's good for bowl lathering. But yeah, I liked it because it was green, and Semogue. I love my Semogue boar, so I thought, oh, I bet a Semogue horsehair is good, and it is. Next, I picked up this Omega synthetic. At first, I didn't really like this brush, but I started using it for bowl lathering, and it is great. I really like the kind of floppiness of it, which I didn't like at first, but I've kind of gotten to use it, and I've learned how much it splays out and whatnot. This is a great brush. I like this, and this was cheap, dirt cheap. It was like 10 bucks on eBay. As far as synthetics go, the best synthetic that I have is this Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, the Green Ray. Honestly, I got this because I'm a huge fan of the Green Bay Packers, and it is green and gold. They got a huge win on Sunday over the Titans, pretty much securing their lead in the NFC. So hopefully see them in the Super Bowl in 2021. That would be nice. But this is an amazing brush. Honestly, I think I like it more than the Omega. It's only like 17 bucks or so. It has a ton of loft. It's super soft. This is an amazing brush. It really is. Possibly one of my favorite brushes right there. Continue down the line here. So this is an Omega boar. Omega is kind of famous for their boars, and I thought this one was cool. It's that bright orange. It reminds me of blaze orange, which hunters wear. It's just getting broken in. I've only used this about 10 or 12 times, and it's just now starting to get broken in. But yeah, some good shaves with this brush here. Again, pretty cheap. 10 or 12 bucks is all it was online. All of my stuff is fairly cheap. I'm a pretty frugal guy. I've got a family, 2 kids. I can't spend too much. Out of all these, this is the most expensive one, and it's the smallest. This is Omega Mixed. It's badger and boar, and it's tiny. It's a funny little brush. I just got it because of the novelty. Obviously, look at the size difference between it and that huge Yaki. But it whips up an amazing lather. It's a great, you know, they say it's for travel, but I like just using it just here at the house. As far as travel goes, I actually take this one because it's so cheap. If I lost it or it got broken, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's synthetic. It dries super quick. I've used this a couple of times. I haven't done a whole lot of traveling in 2020, but the couple times that I have, that's the brush I've taken. And then the last one here, this is my most recent brush that I've picked up. Another Yaki. This one's 24 millimeter knot. I picked it up, honestly, for a couple of reasons. It was $6 on the AliExpress 11/11 sale. Can't beat the price. And it's just really unique. It's weird. It's pink and it's purple. My wife said it looks like a bowling ball, like that Jesus would use in The Big Lebowski, which is my second favorite movie of all time. And it is. It's just a weird, unique brush. Also synthetic, very soft. I like those white bristles there. So that's pretty cool. That's all the brushes that I picked up in 2020. Again, quite a few of those, but all fairly cheap, and I use all of them regularly. I kind of just rotate through. So if you're going to pick up all this stuff, use it, you know. Let's move on finally to the last kind of just random things that I picked up in 2020. So here are my 2020 razors that I picked up. Again, all these fairly cheap. I try not to spend too much on anything. Basically, every couple of paychecks, I might grab something. And I'll kind of do them in order in which I picked them up. So I always wanted a slant razor. And this is a Razor Rock 37 slant. This is a great razor. It's almost something that I would use on a daily basis. If I've got the right blade in there, you don't even feel the blade at all. It's got some great knurling on it. It's hefty. The handle's kind of long. I like a shorter handle. It's not bad though, but that's a great razor. It was like 20 bucks. It really wasn't too bad at all. The next razor that I picked up was this Razor Rock, another Razor Rock, and this is the blue BBS, and I got this for like 20 bucks. It was actually used. It was on eBay. This is an aluminum razor. It weighs almost nothing. There's no gap on the side. The blades don't stick out at all on the sides. But this is a cool little razor. I got it because it's just super blue and just kind of crazy to look at and stuff. Let's see, what else do we got here? So this is something that I picked up on AliExpress. I liked it because it was red and black. I went to Texas Tech University, and this is a Yaki razor. And very mild. Since it's double open comb, I assume that it would be very aggressive, and it's not. It's a very mild razor. Good knurling on it. Again, the length is okay. Very heavy though. I think it's a brass razor. That's a good razor. I like that a lot. This is an interesting little one. I got this on eBay. Again, it's used. It's a Gillette, I think it's 66 Travel Tech. And just look at how tiny it is. I've used it a couple times. Very mild razor there, but that's just a cool little thing to have. I don't know. It's funny. You can find these all over eBay. I honestly think this one was unused. It still had like a piece of paper in it that from Gillette or whatever. So that's just a cool little razor. It's got the ball end. Here's a very similar razor to that, but it's the full size. It is a Gillette Tech, also from the 1960s, I believe, ball end, but it's gold. This was only like 12, 13 bucks. Extremely mild razor. I use this if I'm not really sure about a blade. You know, if it's something that I'm afraid is going to cut me or something, I go with this. So some more interesting ones here. This is a Yaki, the Night Helmet. Have you ever seen people do videos on this? This is an extremely aggressive razor, probably the most aggressive one I have. It's kind of a hodgepodge or kind of a Franken razor. The handle here is called the Nomad, and I bought them separate. The Night top is satin, and then this is chrome. Very hefty little razor here. I like the length. I like a shorter razor. But I bought these on the AliExpress sale. They were $5 each, basically. This is a $10 razor. It's very aggressive and also very efficient. And then we have the Parker 87R. This is a butterfly. This one isn't bad. I had a eBay credit for like 10 bucks. So I got this for 20 bucks. It's normally a $30 razor. With the right blade, it works really well. But otherwise, I've had some not so great shaves with this 87R. It's pretty though. I believe it's kind of a copy of a Aristocrat, a Gillette Aristocrat. It's a very pretty looking razor, but doesn't give me the greatest shaves. Not bad, not complaining too much though. And then we've got a couple of more here. This one is really cool. This one glows in the dark. I've done a video on it. It's the El Fantasma from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. It's open comb and it's a hardcore slant. This was scary the first time I used it, but it gives me a great shave. Again, if I've got a good blade in there. Glows in the dark, like I mentioned, extremely light. It's not Bakelite, but it's a plastic, and but it's hard. It's tough as nails. I like this razor. It's cool. It's something different, something kind of interesting. And then finally here, this razor I have not actually used. It is a straight razor. I bought it on eBay. It's honed, it's sharpened, it's ready to go. I have a couple of shavettes. I didn't feature them in this video here, but I've cut myself with them pretty bad, pretty bad in some instances. So I'm holding off right now on the straight razor, but eventually I will use this straight razor here. Just gonna, I don't know, gonna wait. I've got my whole life to get into this or whatever. But yeah, there's a straight razor. I picked this up on eBay. I'm anxious to use it, just not ready yet. So these are kind of the razors that I picked up over 2020. Pretty cool stuff. So here's just kind of the random things in 2020. This I actually had prior to 2020, but this is what I travel with in a brush. I got this at the hardware store, and you're supposed to put like nuts and bolts and stuff in it, but you can put your brush down in there. Here, I'll demonstrate. I'll do it with here, this brush here. You drop it down in there, you put the top on it, boom. The top here, you see you could put nuts and bolts and stuff inside of that, but you can slide the top completely off and you can drop your brush in there and it's protected, so that's kind of cool. I've had this a while. That's like $3 at a hardware store. Again, these are just kind of random hodgepodge things. Now in 2020, I started bowl lathering for the first time. I did have a little salsa bowl. You've seen the salsa bowl, but I didn't use it really for bowl lathering, but I bought this stainless steel on Amazon, like $7, and it's really helped me with some of my brushes that were so-so. I'm able to get better lather. So I'm glad I did that, and I also upgraded to the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. This is the Travel Scuttle, and it's got those nice ridges on the inside. Of course, you can fill it with water, warm water, and on these cold Wisconsin mornings, nothing beats a nice warm shave. So this has been a great purchase. 20 bucks, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Travel Scuttle. I bought some witch hazel for the first time. I don't use this that often. Of course, a lot of aftershaves have witch hazel in them. But it's weird, the labels all kind of got wet or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but this isn't bad. I splash it on occasionally. It's nice for my skin. This is the first year that I've ever used an alum block. I got this online. It was like $7. I've used it tons and tons of times, and it's showing no sign really of use. So that's cool. But that, you know, I don't use it every time, but it's been a nice little addition, and I totally see why people swear by the alum block. It is a nice thing. And I'll wrap everything up with probably the most boring thing. This is a travel case. I bought this on Amazon. It was only like $8 or $9. Not bad at all. You can put, like for instance, this is that Gillette silver tip or flare tip super speed. And see how it fits down in there perfectly. You could also put some blades in here. I didn't bother showing the blades that I've got. I mean, everyone's seen blades. I do have some sample packs. Treat Platinum is my favorite blade. I have a couple of hundred of that. I have a couple of hundred Astra greens. I don't know. I've got blades. Everyone's seen blades. So there you go. That's my 2020 Shaved In Tour. So this only takes a few seconds, and I did mention it. I ran downstairs and I grabbed my Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Glow Cube pre-shave. And this is really cool. Yeah, it glows in the dark. You just wet your face and you kind of rub it on your face, and it's a great pre-shave. So I also want to mention Hoon Shaver. He is one of the gentlemen that I kind of mentioned earlier in the video that I've been able to connect with. He is in South Korea, and he did a shaved in tour, and now I'm doing a shaved in tour, so this is kind of for him. I'll put a link to his channel. Before I go, yeah, I'll just show. This is, I keep it in this bowl here. I got this at the dollar store, and this is one of those soap savers. It's kind of like a sponge thing, and it goes on top, and then it lets it dry out. So yeah, that's kind of cool. But yeah, love seeing shaved in tours, and Hoon Shaver did a cool one. And so he has a lot of cool brushes, and he likes the adjustables, the Gillette vintage adjustables, which I don't have. I might try to pick one up in 2021. But anyways, it took me 10 seconds to run downstairs and get this, so this is some bonus for you there. Something else I picked up this year. So there you go. I went head first, of course, into 2020 as far as wet shaving, back into it again. Really excited to see what 2021 has to offer, and I'm really glad that I've picked up this hobby once again. I've been so grateful to be able to connect with people from all over the globe, honestly, through YouTube, through Facebook, Instagram. It's just been great. It's amazing how technology has brought us all closer together, and we can all share the joy of shaving our face. Something that, you know, could be pretty mundane and boring, which was the rut that I was in, but now I've taken it to a new level, and I'm very grateful for all the support that everybody has given me, and I'm looking forward to this next year. Thanks so much.